What happened?
I have no idea. It's
I just would have been fired from the cabaret.
why?
They want a different drummer.
Are you all right with that?
I didn't know if I wanted to do it anymore, so there's my answer.
Yeah. Okay.
That was Chris.
Yeah. Was he polite about it?
Yeah, he wanted to get with me, but I don't want to get together with somebody who's going to fire me.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, let's do it nice and happy. Let's make sure this is working all right. And you want to move it this way. Let's do that. Yeah. Or we can move the computer, I guess, huh? Yeah, there you
This
go.
would be better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Want to do that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Now, it would be better if it were higher up.
Well, we can always...
Books.
Yeah. Oh. Well, I'm sorry, sweetie, but at the same time, you said you didn't know what to do it, and I was thinking about the other night when you were talking about Corey. And I'm like, you know what? She doesn't like to have to rush around and rearrange students, and she doesn't like that stress. So, does that work?
Are we already on?
We are. Well, but we can edit this
later. But somebody's watching.
Now, hey, we are on, but we were having to make sure the camera worked. It wasn't working right. But anyway, well, hi, everybody. This is Mark.
And I'm Michelle, and we're finally well enough to be together.
We are.
But we're still not well.
Hey, Mom. And so what we're going to talk about today is how we specifically did the diets so that you can understand what we did and how it worked for us and this kind of thing.
Yes.
Okay. And so we're going to try to get here. We'll just do this. We'll cozy up. Here we go.
Our camera didn't work,
Right.
so we had to plug into 3 different computers and finally got it going.
Exactly. Hey, at least I got 3 different computers.
Yeah.
And, well, we actually have a couple more too. But anyway, so what we'll do is we'll talk about our own experiences on each individual diet.
Okay, so to start with, we started with the GAPS.
We did, and the GAPS worked really well for me. Here's what I did for the first year and a half for every day. I woke up in the morning, and I boiled 2 cups of broth. Well, I should say heated it up.
Yeah, because he had already made the broth.
Exactly. And so I was just heating it up, and then after I boiled it, I would add in, after it was heated up, I'd add in chopped garlic, and sometimes I would add in seaweed for the iodine. And then I would cool it down a little bit after that.
With ice.
With ice, and I added kefir. And
because if it was too hot, it would kill the kefir.
Exactly, it would kill the live cultures in the kefir, which you needed for the probiotics. So then I would add meat to it, usually pork or beef, mostly pork. And then I would drink that for my morning meal. And I would add extra fat to it if I needed it, pork fat, beef fat, whatever. Then I would, before I went to work, I would heat up some more of the broth, add the fat and the chopped garlic and the probiotics and that type of stuff and meat. And then I took that to work for my lunch at work. And hey, Leah.
Hey.
How are you? And thanks for being here. And then when I came home, I do the same thing for my third meal. And I did that for a year and a half. And as snacks, I would eat meat. Sometimes I would eat nuts, but mostly it was just meat. And that's all I did for 18 months. And while that sounds, what's the word, extreme, it was.
It was.
I mean, it really
Everything
was.
we've done to get well has been extreme.
And hi, Leah. And we have been extreme, yes. And I'm going to be honest. If you want the best healing, find a way to be as extreme as you can. And because for that, I had my best changes in that first 18 months. Because that broth went to heal up my gut, fix my brain chemistry, and that kind of thing. The only thing I was lacking was the veggies and the fruits and stuff to give the rest of me energy. But we came to the medical medium diet, and that fixed that for me. Hey, Mom! And So my experiences on the GAPS diet for the first year and a half were solely, that's what I did every day, 3 meals a day. My snacks were meat. My 3 meals were broth with meat, probiotics, garlic, and extra fat. That's what I did.
Yeah, if he had any fruit at all, that would send him into a regression.
Even honey did.
Yeah, honey
that
did
point.
real bad.
And, I
Did
never...
you have trouble with nuts? Did you?
I don't remember. Not nuts. I don't think. And I did have trouble with some veggies. Could eat no potatoes on the GAPS.
Yeah, he couldn't have any potatoes.
Yeah.
They would send him back.
Right. And the starchier the vegetable, the worse that was.
Yeah.
So potatoes being extra starchy, no.
You ate carrots?
Squash, carrots. Carrots did give me some trouble. I remember we
too much
juiced.
sugar for that diet.
Right. Well, we juiced a little bit. We bought our juicer while we were on the GAPS. And so organic carrots
Right,
are
because
usually
she says start with carrot juice.
Exactly. And carrots did not work for me.
No. Yeah.
And so we also did honey. That sent me into regressions. And I never liked honey throughout my whole life. Now I like honey. I actually do. And I have gained a little bit of weight on the medical medium diet.
Leah asks, was it the sugar and the fruits? And we think so. But now that we're doing the all-fruit diet, we feel better than we did. It was the mix of the meat and the fat and the fruit.
It was. For me, that didn't work.
Yeah.
So mixing fruits and meat, that didn't work for me. We know a mom who did mix the meat and the fruit, the medical medium and the GAPS diet for her son, and it worked out. After about 2 weeks, I think this is what she said, after about 2 weeks of regression and really bad behavior, at least from the autism, that went away, and he came out on the other side talking, smiling, looking her in the eye, and this kind of stuff. And I think that's awesome.
And I really think it has to do with what's actually wrong inside your body and how old you are. Mark was old.
Right? I was crusty.
He was
I was that crusty. Anyway, and but the older you get, really, it does make a difference. You have to work a lot harder at it, and because you've acquired, the older you get, the more damage you acquire to your body, and the gut specifically, and well, and other things too. But because of that, if you don't heal that gut, if you don't heal your gut, other things don't work right. Lee's like, so old. Yeah, I'm real old. Hey, I'll be 50 this year. But well, in November, I should say. And well, that's still this year.
It's still this year.
But anyway, but the GAPS diet did really great for me. Now, Michelle's experiences on the GAPS.
Now, it did heal my intestines, and the IBS went away, and it did lessen my migraines quite a bit. But I had other issues come up, like histamine problems. I'd get rashes.
Mm-hmm.
I bottomed out with adrenals, and I didn't sleep for a month. I never did get sleep back from the GAPS diet. So it was much worse. I got worse. Some areas better, but so much worse that I couldn't function in life.
Well, now migraines, as you were telling me earlier, was one of the things that did get better on the GAPS diet.
That's what I said. Yeah, it got.
Okay, I must have missed that.
It got better. They were still a little bit there, but I had I couldn't eat much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I had to stop the bone broth because I realized it was actually causing me more problems.
Histamine issues for her specifically.
And so I was eating mostly just meat, a few veggies. I think I started eating apples.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. You were able to start eating nuts, not walnuts, because I remember the first time you had walnuts, they made your stomach hurt, and I think they caused you a little bit of a rash. Yeah. And but you were eating cashews.
I tried cantaloupe and got a rash immediately from eating cantaloupe.
Right.
But now that I know what the medical medium diet is, I know that the fruit was trying to detox me. It was trying to make me better.
And I'm sure that's probably what it was doing with me.
Yeah.
It's just that my behavior got worse while I was eating.
And we hadn't figured out anything else.
Exactly. So with her, it really helped.
We found the medical medium and immediately went on the 28-day cleanse, which is all vegan raw.
Yeah. And while there are a few veggies, it's mostly entirely fruit. and which is great because
Well, there were salads and
that's why I
leafy
said there were
greens.
some veggies. But
You're supposed to eat them every day.
right. Well,
So-
and so we did eat salads just about every day. Not every day, but just about every day. And there was a granola mix he has a recipe for, which was different types of nuts, dates, honey, and coconut and sesame seeds. And that was really good.
Yes.
I like that.
And Leah, I want you to know he claims this diet heals MS.
Yeah. Hey, Abby, how are you? And thanks for joining us. And this is our first time together doing a Facebook Live in 3 weeks, we'll have you know.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're talking about the medical medium diet and the GAPS diet and our experiences specifically on it and how they worked. And Michelle's talking about her experiences on medical medium right now.
Right. So I haven't felt this good in years. Years.
Agreed.
And I started sleeping about a week after I started the 28-day cleanse. And that was a miracle. And now I'm to the point where I don't even wonder if I'm going to sleep anymore. I just know it's going to happen. And so I go to lay down in the bed and I go to sleep. And I sleep like 8, 9, 10 hours. I think I'm catching up for years.
For all the
not
decades,
sleeping.
for all the centuries you didn't sleep.
I'm not that old.
No, I'm not old. But the medical medium diet basically did everything for her that she hoped the GAPS would do, but didn't.
It didn't.
And it even heals your gut.
Yes.
Yeah. His.
I suspect it would take longer. I think we had faster results because of the GAPS diet had healed our guts. And we had just been on it for so long, the GAPS diet.
Yes, true.
So when we switched over, which was a surreal experience, because I felt like I wasn't in my body for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Switching from all the meat and high fat to going all vegan raw was a very strange experience.
Yes, I felt that switch myself for about 2 or 3 days. And it was odd because we'd been living on protein and fat for 4.5 years. Then all of a sudden, cold turkey onto the medical medium diet.
Because we're extremists, as we said before.
We are, and dietary extremists,
Yes.
you know, the next big threat to the universe. And but anyway, so the medical medium diet for me really helped in quite a few areas. I'm quite sure that it was a heavy metal detox for me. And Leah, I noticed you commented really with a couple of
Leah,
question marks.
you need to get his first book. What's it called?
It's called The Medical Medium.
Chronic disease and
the secrets behind chronic disease and why they don't get healed. Yeah, and we can
well, there's a link.
We actually have it, but we can post a link for you, Leah. And it's an ebook or a paperback too, I think.
Yes, people have healed themselves from MS. We belong to a detox support group on Facebook for the medical medium diet, and there are people on there who have healed many things.
Yeah, and Leah, we'll post that link for you too. And but it's something you might consider, considering us knowing your history and that kind of thing. But the medical medium diet for me, I used to have severe muscle cramps. They started in I think it was 2009 when we still lived in Atlanta, and they would get so severe that I would be like this in this shoulder, or my hands and wrists would curl up. Well, there's really no way to show it on here. But anyway, the cramps would last for 2 or 3, 4 minutes, and then they would release. Then a few seconds later, it would cramp up again. And it would do that for about 3 times until it got too tired to cramp. And then I would be exhausted. And I would have that happen in the calves of my legs, which that would wake me up during the middle of the night and wake her up. And the medical medium diet, all the glucose on the medical medium diet fixed that.
Yes.
And I have the cramps sometimes now, but not very often. And bananas really help with that. Bananas is one of the big fruits on the diet. But then we both had trouble sleeping. And so before we would go to bed, we would eat a banana and a couple of dates.
Yeah, well, he likes mangoes before bed if you have sleeping issues.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll eat more mangoes. But mangoes. And so that would really help us get through the night. And the first 35 days or so, we went past the 28 days because, again, we're extremists. And so we continued on for about 35 days. And
then we started adding potatoes, cooked potatoes.
Yeah, we added potatoes. Really, that was about all. We just expanded our fruit, because any of you who are on here know about the medical medium diet. It's really mostly fruit smoothies and dates and bananas and all kinds of fruits like that. But it really helped our sleep.
Yeah.
We were sleeping through the night. I get 7 hours regularly, and I tend to wake up right at 7 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So that doesn't give me quite enough sleep because I work, but I can catch up and feel better like I did today. And so it helped with the cramps. It helped with sleep. Heavy metal detox. I was going to talk about that.
Yeah.
That first 35 days on the heavy metal detox smoothie, which we were doing the heavy metal detox smoothie once a day, and then smoothies the rest of the day. For a period of about 10 days to 2 weeks, my urine was gray. So whether that was metals or not, I don't know, but I can't contribute it to blueberries, because blueberries are much darker than that.
Well, and he kept eating the blueberries, and his pee cleared up.
It did. So, and my brain started changing immediately.
Yes.
After that heavy metal detox.
Yes.
And
it was monumental.
Communication and verbal communication and emotions lined up, which is a major deal, because when you're autistic, that's one of the biggest issues is communication. Mm-hmm. Emotional communication, verbal communication, all of that. And so she actually noticed these things before I did.
Yeah, it was so gradual.
Mm-hmm. And it was even more gradual than the GAPS diet.
Mm-hmm.
The GAPS diet, things would just come on like a switch. And I go, ooh, hey, all of a sudden, and then we talk about it and move on. Mm-hmm. But the medical medium diet was so gradual, I hardly knew anything was happening, except I just felt better. Mm-hmm. And then she could say, hey, that made sense. And then we go, you know what? That's made sense more often. Why? And then we talk about it. Mm-hmm. So a lot of things, while we have gained weight because of that.
Yes, that's something that they don't say, that it is possible that you will gain weight. Some people lose weight on it. It depends on what's wrong with you.
It does. And liver seems to be the big issue of why you gain weight.
Yeah.
Since your liver is a major detoxing organ in your body, if it is sluggish because of extra fat in your diet, then what it will do is it will take the toxins that it is detoxing you from, put it into fat cells, and put it on you. Mm. And so as your liver heals up,
if you have lots of toxins,
yes,
which I am sure
most everyone does,
right?
Then as your liver heals up, all the weight will come off, and all the toxins will be passed out of your body.
Yes.
Exactly.
Hopefully, that's where we're going.
Yeah, and we know 1 or 2 people who have done that.
Yes, we both gained 2 sizes since January.
Yeah. Well, what I meant was we both know people who have healed.
Who have healed.
Okay, right.
Yes.
And so yes, we both gained 2 sizes since January.
Yes.
So,
but we both feel better than we've ever felt.
True. I mean, we've dealt with strep quite a bit because most people almost everyone has strep, an infection of strep. And she was sick with it 6 or 7 times. This is maybe the 8th, and this is about the 7th time.
Unless this is a virus.
Unless it's a virus, and that's possible too. But anyway, we are healing up, and just probably 3 or 4 more years, we'll be as healthy as we have ever been in our lives.
Yes, I imagine in 5 years we will feel amazing.
Yes, and we're looking forward to that because the GAPS diet made me feel amazing. Now it's her turn. Mm-hmm. And so that was our experiences. What she did, what we've done every day on the medical medium diet is got up and did our celery juice. Well, we drink our lemon water or lemon ginger water. Then we wait 15 minutes, and then we drink celery juice because the celery juice goes to bring your stomach acid back to its natural
and it kills viruses.
And it kills viruses. Then we have a heavy metal detox smoothie when we were doing those.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the day we'd have fruit until late afternoon, and then we'd have potatoes or some other cooked on the diet food.
Right.
And that's what we've done pretty much every day since January.
Yes.
And
I tried recently to eat some salmon because I was kind of craving it, and I thought I was going to get sick. I couldn't believe it. It was so strange.
Well, may have been the different toxins that your body knows don't eat.
Maybe there was mercury in it.
Very possible. And so that has been our experiences on the diet, on those 2 diets over the past 8 months.
Yeah. So if you have any questions, we've had a lot of experiences.
We have.
We can share.
We can share. We can even coach you folks who need that kind of thing. And you're right, medical medium.
I didn't see those questions.
Yeah.
Okay.
How is your energy level?
My energy level is incredible. I've never had this much energy. Not since teenager, probably, before I got sick.
True.
See, I got Lyme. But he says, I got Lyme when I was 18, but he says that Lyme is actually Epstein-Barr virus.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I've been doing on his diet is eating foods that combat Epstein-Barr. And he says MS is also Epstein-Barr. So if you've ever had mono, you can have mono and not know you've had mono. That's what Epstein-Barr is. Sorry, we didn't see the questions.
And so, let's see, other questions. Has it made a difference?
Okay, so let's talk about how I couldn't used to get up in the morning.
Let's talk about that.
For my whole life.
How long have you been at Putnam City now?
This is the fourth?
I think it's fourth year. I think
year.
it's fifth. So this is her 4th year. Her first 2 or 3, well, no, let's just say
the first 3
years. 3.5.
Struggled to get there.
Get
up and
now,
get there.
Here's what I mean by struggle, okay? She set an alarm 3 hours before she had to be somewhere.
Just to be able to get
Even if it
up.
was 10 minutes away. Because her brain just would not wake up.
Oh, fog. Huge, bad fog.
Yeah, huge brain fog. Now, I didn't have that trouble, but she did. And so, plus she couldn't get sleep anyway. Now, that could have been a lot of your issue.
Most of the time, before I took that job, I was sleeping till 10 or 11 to get the sleep in that I wasn't getting in the night.
And she would go to bed at midnight or 11 p.m.
Well, even if I got up at 10, I wouldn't be able to go to sleep. Or I would wake up in the night and be up for 2 hours.
Right, exactly.
And that was part of the reason it was hard to get up to go to work.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the longest I ever worked anywhere was a year. That was at a music store, and I had to quit because I couldn't wake up. I was sick. I would get migraines because I wasn't sleeping, and then I'd have to get up and go to work.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been a private music teacher my whole life so that I wouldn't have to wake up in the morning. But I really wanted to do this accompanying job, so I got myself going. But this diet has made it so that I can get up 2 hours before and get out. And I'm awake when I wake up.
Mm-hmm. And that's amazing because she's never been that way. And we've been married 24 years. And 23 of those years, she's never been able to wake up.
Yeah.
And so that's how much the medical medium diet has changed her.
Right. And there was a point where I couldn't wear blue jeans because they felt too heavy. That's how bad the energy was, the energy level.
Especially when that was back when you had Lyme.
Yeah, but when I got sick in 2015, it felt like that again.
You're talking about when you had the adrenal fatigue?
Yep.
Yeah. Well, something else too is we haven't really talked about the mental things. For instance, loss of anxiety.
Yeah.
For her, just went.
Yeah, that heavy metal detox smoothie, I don't have anxiety anymore. That is just amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I've had that since birth, probably.
Yep. And while I've had anxiety, a lot of that was tied to the autism. But now, what little I did have, the medical medium diet mostly got rid of entirely. Now, there were other things in there that I had to take care of as well, beliefs that I used energy medicine on, and that type of thing. And I'm sure she's done the same. But for the most part, low blood sugar is your enemy.
Yes.
And it's surprising.
Fruit is your friend.
It is. It is definitely your friend.
I'm pretty much a fruitarian with potatoes on the side.
Well, there you go. And so, anyway, that is our...
potatoes are great for killing viruses because of all the lysine that they have in them.
True. And if you just steam your potatoes...
Mark boils them.
I do.
You're supposed to steam them, but...
But I boil them in the skin instead of out of the skin. So, or cut them up. But they really have, I'm pretty sure they've helped us. It's hard to, they keep you full, and you need to eat every 2 hours on the medical medium diet.
Yes.
To keep your
blood sugar up.
Exactly. And that works.
And that was probably my problem on the GAPS diet. My blood sugar was
That was definitely my problem on the GAPS diet.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I got the protein and fat that I needed, but I couldn't add any of the carbohydrates, natural or otherwise, because they would just cause regressions. So I healed up enough on the GAPS diet. So everything's worked out perfectly for us.
Our question is now, how do we combine these diets, or do we just jump right into the medical medium, to suggesting for you?
Truthfully, I'm probably going to go with jumping right into the medical medium diet, unless your gut is so messed up that you have that you constantly have diarrhea or constipation or any of the things that would classically qualify as.
Well, and that is covered under the medical medium. It's just, it seems like it might be slow.
I think it would be.
And that's why I wonder if adding bone broth. So we still don't know what the best answer is, and it's probably going to be a case-by-case basis.
Exactly. And because like the one woman who combined the diets for her son, that worked well for him.
Yeah.
But he was younger. He was probably less than 7 years old. When I started this, I was 44, and it would not work.
Yeah.
It didn't work because we tried it. And I've had people say, well, didn't you add vegetables in the introductory phase? No, because in the introductory phase, there are no vegetables and of the GAPS diet.
Yes.
And since that's the case, you don't want to add things that are going to complicate matters. And those would, and in my case, did. So there's, to be honest, for any of you people out there who think, oh, I'm going to get my kid through this, do yourself a favor, just calm down. because epithelial cells are some of the slowest growing cells in your body. It takes years for them to reproduce sometimes. And that is what the lining is of your intestinal tract, is a layer of epithelial cells. They take so long to reproduce that you can't rush through anything. Don't do it.
Well, and if you do all the fruit, go slow, because the detox can be hell.
Yeah,
not kidding.
And what we mean by that is
we went fast. We did it immediate
fast.
Again,
we're extremists, so we did it quickly.
We were sick for like 7 weeks because we were detoxing too fast, but we didn't understand it at the time that that's what was happening. And so we have slowed down. We aren't doing the celery every day. We're not doing the
heavy metal detox.
We're not doing it every day.
Right.
I feel enough better that I can function really well. And I know there's still a lot in me that needs to go. So we're still doing I'm doing a lot of fruit, but I'm not doing all the supplements and I've just slowed down a whole lot. And so you've got to feel that out yourself.
Yes. And you can do this. It can be done. You don't have to be extreme like us.
This is the most fun diet I've ever had. I love eating all this fruit.
The medical medium diet is great. And truthfully, if you want a diet that makes a lot of sense, at least as far as making you feel good, the medical medium diet would be it, depending on what your issue is.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, anything else we want to talk about?
Okay. I guess there aren't any more questions over here.
I don't know. Let's see. Chloe's got a question.
Oh. What do you recommend for someone who has never tried any diet?
Okay, Leah, try this.
Wow.
One of my coworkers at work, she just started adding fruit.
Yes.
And
I don't know what your diet currently is.
I would say cut out processed foods.
Yes.
You really need to, because that's
it. Cut out the no foods. That's what it is. Okay. So the no foods on medical medium, which we have listed somewhere.
Yeah, we'd have to find it.
Stop grains. All grains, no grains. Stop soy, corn,
wheat.
Yeah, wheat.
Yeah, barley, any of those type, oats.
Stop all of that food. What else?
Well, no meat.
No eggs. That's huge. I mean, that was really hard for me. I ate eggs all day, all the time. No eggs. They actually feed viruses. So stop eggs.
Yeah, and meats and fats. Don't avoid those.
Now he specifies it. I mean, if you want to go in slowly, beef is okay-ish. So beef and fish, I think, is what, because chicken feeds viruses.
Mm-hmm.
This is the stuff he says.
Right.
So he's not happy with meats at all, but you're
going to have to
ease yourself in beef and fish, but be careful about the fish because most fish has mercury in it.
Mm-hmm. Right. And so just ease yourself in. My friend at work, she goes, well, what do you suggest? I said, just add fruit.
But
I
also
said,
stop eggs. I think that's a really big one right there.
Yeah, I don't know what her other foods were, but I do know that she's a pretty healthy eater. So I just told her to add fruit. So about 3 days later, she came to me. She said, I've never felt this good. She said, I used to fall asleep in the afternoons. Now I'm not. And she said, I can stay awake. She said, I used to go home and I'd sit down and I'd fall asleep. She said, now I'm not. I'm just waking up and I'm just staying awake as much as I need to. And I have a lot of energy. And this is her only on it for 3 days.
Right. I mean, it made a difference for me in one day because I stopped eating eggs. No dairy as well. Because that also feeds viruses. And just because of the foods that I stopped eating, I think that would make everyone feel better. But adding fruit too.
Mm-hmm. I think adding fruit would be your biggest thing, but try to cut out as many of the processed and no foods as possible. Hopefully that'll help. And that is a big change. People don't like changing their diet, but you know what? You can do this. And I see where you say here your diet is better than before, but you know what? You are doing the best you can.
You just be where you are.
Yeah, until you find out how to do better.
So if today you can just stop eating eggs, that's all you have to do today.
Mm-hmm. Right. And, you know, are you going to have, are you going to cheat? Yes. Just pick yourself back up and go right back to it.
Eat an apple instead of candy.
Or,
I don't know.
Or a date. When you have cravings for something, dates really work for this.
Dates
if you have a craving for something, get 2 dates and eat them.
Dates are the best for cravings.
Yep. And it actually works.
No matter what. I crave pizza. Eat a date.
Mm-hmm.
I crave
barbecue pork.
Eat a date.
Right.
You'll go, oh, this feels good.
Mm-hmm. You can do this, Leah. Abby, thank you for joining us. Mom, thank you for joining us. There might. Let's see. Oh, come on.
No more questions? All right. You can also contact us at any time if you want help. Love you, Leah. Okay. Thanks for being here, everybody.
Talk to you later.
Bye.
See you next week.